Hi, I'm Torch the Adjacent Prepper, and welcome back for another very quick garden update, because I'm kind of late for work. So over here, my experimental black beans, as you can see that little guy in there, have come up pretty well. They probably need to be thinned a lot, but this was really just a bunch of black beans from HEB that I was curious if they germinate. My experimental pinto beans, once again from HEB, don't seem to be germinating at all. And it looks like I've got a bug there eating that bean. But we'll see how they go. I'll keep them watered. The chard, which once again was probably way too densely planted, but it's still doing well. It still tastes good on tacos. So the wall of tomatoes here is continuing to look like tomatoes. If you're not familiar with Texas, we kind of have weird growing seasons, different from the rest of the U.S. In most of the U.S., you kind of plant in the spring and harvest all through summer and fall. In Texas, we have a very short winter and an early spring, but our summer is so stupid hot. Yay, I've got a bunch of flowers on this guy. Anyways, our summer is so stupid hot that pretty much nothing grows, and I'm pretty much in that phase right now. So I'm trying to keep the plants alive in hopes that there'll be a fall harvest, and honestly I'm hoping to move before fall, so these are probably just going to go to whoever buys the house. I did put a bunch of mulch down here, and this is mostly grass clippings down there, some mulch just to keep water in, and putting my finger on it, it's definitely working. That's definitely wet. So over to the potatoes. I also mulched these. Not sure if it's going to matter. If anyone knows potatoes really well, let me know. Grab some weeds. Actually, that plant, this second set came up quite a bit since I did that. So maybe they're enjoying the water. This first bucket of potatoes isn't doing much. And that gap in the middle was dinner. So look at a different video. I dumped that out. It's probably prematurely. So this tomato, this is my tomato that was labeled as a jalapeno seed, but obviously it's a tomato. It's actually looks like that's probably my best tomato at the moment. It hasn't produced any fruit, but it's got a lot of blossoms. Over here, my poblanos have gotten tall. So if you can see how tall these things really have gotten. They're not fruiting or even flowering, but they're getting much bigger. My onions, this was originally intended to be scallions, and I didn't keep up eating scallions. I did have one flower. Camera doesn't seem to want to focus on that. I'm not quite sure how to collect seeds from that, but we'll see. So next up, we have these two guys are my Tabascos, and they've produced almost nothing, but they're getting very bushy. Got one little pepper in there growing. That little guy. Let's see him. And this one's got several small peppers growing. My serranos are continuing to get big and bushy, but aren't actually flowering or producing anything. Looks like those might, some little buds in there, those might turn into flowers, we'll see. Can't camera to focus on those little guys. And there's a few more over here. So maybe I'll get some peppers out of those. And then at the end, my habaneros look really healthy, but they're not putting on any flowers. So hopefully we'll get some more from there. And then over here, this is just more tomatoes. And they kind of fell over and are growing across the dirt, and I'm just letting them. I've got one fruit over here on this one, so hopefully that'll actually turn red at some point. I have no idea what to do with a disease like this. I keep just cutting it off, but I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do, because it just keeps coming back. I feel like I've cut more than half these tomatoes off. Here's another one. I'll probably prune this afternoon if I have time before Sabbath. And this guy's got a couple really bad looking flowers. And some more tomatoes. I kind of want to have this so other gardeners in the area can see what I'm doing and how it's being productive, and see it in relatively real time. So you're not like seeing what happened 6 months ago. You can actually see what's going on now. I hate seeing channels where they post garden updates 6 months late. Like, hey, this is what you should be planting now. But by the time the video gets posted, it's what I should have planted in the past, and it's way too late for me to plant it. So that's why I'm trying to turn these around really quick. And that's pretty much it. Have a good weekend.